Welcome to episode 15 of On Your Marks. Today we're joined by Jade Hazeldine, a 17-year-old distance runner from Myrtleford in the Alpine Valley of northeastern Victoria. She has raced 800 metres to 3,000 metres on the track, 5k on the road, longer trail events, plus cross country over the past few years. She has placed at several Victorian State Championship events, including a second at the State All Schools Cross Country, and came 19th in the Under-20 Women's 6K at this year's National Cross Country Championships in Ballarat. She attends Marion College in Myrtleford. Her PBs are really impressive. They're 4:50 for 1,500 metres, 9:59 for 3,000 metres. 5k on the road, she's run 17:11, and for 10k on the road, she's recorded 36:01. So welcome to the show, Jade. How are you going?
Good, thank you for having me.
You're more than welcome. How's it up in Myrtleford there tonight?
It is good. The sun has finally come out after a weekend of rain and stuff, so it's good to have the sun back.
Beautiful. There you go. So you're not that far from Bright, are you, in that kind of Bright area?
Yeah,
And
yep.
not too far from Mount Beauty as well?
Yep, no, very lucky near the beautiful scenery and the environment down here.
Yeah. And a lot of Aussie distance runners, particularly Victorians, but runners from not only Australia but around the world. Many would have gone to Falls Creek, so they would have either passed through Myrtleford or Bright. We have to most people go through Myrtleford to get to Bright and then Mount Beauty and then to head up into the mountains. So you're right up there heading towards the highlands.
Yeah.
What a beautiful part of the world.
I know, I'm very lucky, very grateful to live where we do.
Yeah, so I'm guessing, would you be about a 4-hour drive to Melbourne, to downtown Melbourne?
Yeah, 3 hours, 3 to 4, yeah.
Yeah, depending on the
traffic,
the conditions.
Yeah,
all of that. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, Jade, where did your running journey begin? How old were you?
So I was 16, sorry. Very late starter, I'd say. My running journey began early 2025 when I sparked a love for endurance running after spending my childhood playing in the team sports like netball, basketball, and football for Myrtleford. Um, yeah, I just, yeah, 16. So
So you're very young to the sport because you're only 17 now. You turned 18 in October, November, is that right?
November, yeah, November.
November, so not too far off turning 18. So really it's been less than 2 years, only about a year and a half if you're going to round it off.
Yes, yeah, no.
Yeah, so you've done some remarkable things for what we would call a novice. Actually, I remember in New South Wales that I grew up in New South Wales, and one of the biggest events of the year on the calendar has been the Novice Championships, and it's for runners who haven't been around for that long, and they're not allowed to have won a state senior championship in cross-country road or track.
Yeah.
And it's a special a state medal medals they hand out for those people, whether they're juniors or seniors.
Yeah.
And you would be rated as a novice because you haven't got to that senior level yet.
Yeah.
But you're really quite a novice as a junior, and you've done some remarkable things.
Yeah, thanks.
So you've only been running for 18 months. How has your training progressed in that time?
So at the start, I kind of just ran because I loved running. I remember one day I was like, Mum, can I run a 5 kilometer? Like thinking that was such a big like run and massive distance. And after that day, I kind of started progressing up towards the 10Ks. And then Mum noticed my love for running. So she uh, like signed me up for local events like the Bright Running, Wangaratta runs. And so those were the 10 kilometer distance because I wanted to go bigger and better. So I went for the 10K, and I could just tell from there I just kept improving. So then from being scared to run a 5K to where I am now has changed so much because my training, like I can run for up to 90 minutes without stopping. We're doing higher intensity stuff, like all of that, and I've learned about the importance. I have structure in all my trainings and lots of routines, whereas back then I was just running for fun, I guess.
There you go. It sounds like you've learnt the cornerstones of the sport pretty quickly there.
Yeah.
So you attend Marion College in Myrtleford.
hmm
Tell us a little bit about Marion College. What would the student population be about?
Yeah, so Marion College is very small. We only have about 100 to 150 students, which I love. I think it's great where I'm friends with everyone in my school basically. So it's very nice. Whereas I talk to my friends from Wodonga or Wangaratta and they're like, I don't even know all the people in my own year level, let alone my school. So it's a great environment. And yeah, I'm very privileged to go to Marion because they're very supportive of me and my running and they do what they can to help me in all of that.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Do you compete often for the school?
Yeah, so ever since I started running, I've had to compete for the school. That's been kind of my lead into running. I don't think I would be here without Marion or the School Sports Victoria kind of situation. That has definitely been a pathway for me to get into my running.
And do they provide any running training or running groups at Marion College?
No, we don't. There's not, yeah, we're not very big on we're very good at sport, but we don't have the financial aids to progress us further, if that makes sense. We make do with
Fair
what we
enough.
can. Yeah.
Fair enough. And I imagine with only 100 to 150 students, what would that be from year 7 to year 12?
Yes. Yeah.
It might be hard to get like age group teams together
Yeah.
for sporting, for
Definitely.
team sports.
That's one of the biggest
Did you
problems.
compete in any team sports for the
Yeah.
school or locally?
Yep,
Yeah.
lots. Especially the thing with being so small, myself and maybe two other girls from our school, we'd compete with the boys' teams for basketball or things like that because we wouldn't have enough girls to make our own team. So, which I think was great, and I'm glad the boys were happy enough to let us play with them, and like I didn't see a problem in it. So it was a good learning experience and built my confidence a lot through that, I think.
That's awesome. And have you tried any individual sports at school or locally,
Yeah, I used
apart
to,
from running?
no, yeah, I used to do swimming, which was fun throughout my childhood. Grew up, local Myrtleford swimming club. Um, didn't ever go competitive, but I did make it to state one year, which was cool, but it's only a 50-meter swim and you go all the way down to Melbourne for that. So, but it's fun.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And now you do horse riding. Is that as an equestrian eventing type thing, or is it more like you just ride around like a cowgirl locally? And
Y-
yeah,
Yeah.
do you live on a farm or do you live in town? Like
Yeah,
how
so
does it all work there?
I grew up on a small farm with beautiful horses. Myself, my sister, and my mum all rode, and my cousins, extended family all ride as well. So we grew up around horses. My dream was to become a cowgirl at a young age, but unfortunately, with like growing up and going into all our other sports, horses just became too hard to handle and lack of time because they take a lot of work and lots of time to manage and ride and all of that. So unfortunately, I had to choose out of my sports and I put horses aside. So, but if I could go back to riding horses, I definitely would.
I know a few people, including some relatives, who've been really into horse riding, and it really is like all or nothing type thing. But
Yeah,
you're right; it
yeah,
takes up a lot of time
it does.
and commitment. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyone who even owns a dog or two or a cat or two know that they take a fair bit of time, let alone a big animal like a horse.
I
And if you're
know.
doing it for a sport, all that discipline involved and
Yeah,
the feeding, the cleaning, everything, so many things going on.
yeah,
Yeah. Now your coach is James Seiber. Is it
yeah.
pronounced Seiber or Seiber?
Fever.
James Seiber.
Yeah.
Now, does he coach you in person or online?
So James coaches me both online and in person, which I'm very lucky to have. We're in contact daily through messages as James is very good with keeping up with my health and just how I'm feeling on every day, basically. We are lucky enough to go on runs together sometimes. We haven't done many recently, but he's been injured, so I'm sure there'll be more to come in the future now that he's back to running.
Wonderful. And
Yeah.
how did you meet James? How did that start, the
Um,
coach-athlete relationship?
Yeah, so we met at Pub to Pelican, which is a local race that I did. I was so before James, I had no training at all. I was just running for fun. And when I met James, he was just a photographer at the race, and he came up to me and he asked me if I had a coach because I ran a 37-minute 10K, and he was very impressed for a 16-year-old at the time, or 17, sorry. Um, and yeah, so he offered to coach me for free, basically. He's just said he saw potential in me and wanted to help me develop as a runner and continue my journey further down this path. So after that, he got me started, and ever since then, I haven't looked at ever changing a coach. I've been very lucky with James.
Really good. Yeah, so that chance meeting between you and James has led to a really successful partnership there. He's doing a great
Definitely.
job with you, obviously, and hopefully he'll continue to do that for quite some time. That's
Yeah.
wonderful to hear there.
Yeah.
So well done to James. Now, how many kilometres per week are you doing at present?
Yeah, so roughly, it's around 60 to 70 kilometers a week. That can increase or decrease depending on race week or just the load that I've been doing. James is very good with managing my load. As I said, he's always checking on me day to day, so he knows if I need to change runs. He's very flexible as well. If I tell him I can't do this today because I'm in year 12 as well, I've got lots of schoolwork, so he quickly fixes things around and always makes it work. So, but yeah, it's always roughly around 60 to 70. Can get to 80 some weeks, but it really just depends.
Good for you. Yeah,
Yeah,
so you haven't taken too much time to step into some really good mileage, but that's sensible kind of mileage in my book
yeah,
for a girl your age
yes.
and for someone running around your times as well. So it looks like you're right on the money there, not doing too much, but still doing a really good solid amount of training there to help you go to that next level.
Yeah.
What are typical sessions that you're doing and what kind of training locations are you doing those sessions?
Yeah, so as my kind of like main focus is 10-kilometer distance, lots of my runs are particularly 60 minutes or more. Those will vary in the intensity and um, hills, like whether I'm doing hills or not. James gives me around 2 rest days, sometimes three. I have a harder session each week. But those speed sessions are very hard, not hard, but because my closest track that I have access to is an hour away, I never like where I'm doing my hard sessions is on our local footy oval. So it's hard with like getting the distance and things like when you set the workout to be done on a track, it's like, oh well, I've got a footy oval I can do it on. So those ones just watching the clock and that makes it a bit more difficult, but other than that, I also do lots of trail runs. Sundays, I find myself up in the pines, literally just behind, like I'm at the footstep of lots of hills. So I love going up there on my days that I can. And then I have some just nice, enjoyable runs throughout the week as well, which I'll typically find myself up in the pines somewhere doing those runs just because I enjoy it.
So you mentioned the pines. Is that like a local pine forest?
Yeah, Reform Hill, sorry. Don't know. It's our
Okay,
local walk and thing that lots of people do.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon pine forests are generally one of the better places to do your runs anywhere in the world, and they are all over the world. And there are lots of great pine forests on the east coast of Australia, anyway, Queensland, uh, New South Wales, Victoria, down into Tassie,
Yeah.
where they're actually owned by either private enterprise or the state governments, and they're used, for timber works or timber for logging.
Yeah,
for timber,
okay.
for
Yeah.
all sorts of things. And because of that, the trails and the dirt roads are really well looked after and very runnable and great for running on. And often they're
Exactly.
in really hilly areas as well,
Yeah.
and which is good because you get your hills in and you get that nice shade in the summer, don't you?
Yep, that's it. And then
As well, and
the
then you can be
downhill.
protected from some, yeah, it can be protected from strong winds on
Yes,
colder days as well, with all the big pine trees.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and often you have pine needles to run on, depending whether how many have blown down, which can add a little bit of cushioning. It can be
Yep.
beautiful. Yeah. So your local footy oval, do you know the perimeter of
Yes,
that?
it's 500 meters, so a bit bigger than a
Wow, like the
track.
MCG.
Yes.
Look the same as the MCG.
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
you know that?
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
didn't, but now I do.
Uh, apparently, that's what it is. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that,
When
yep,
we lived in Melbourne, we lived right on an oval,
yep.
and that was 500 metres. Which, and then somebody told me that's the same as the MCG. Then I looked
Well,
it up, and that's what it was. I know Victoria do their footy/cricket ovals really well. They tend to look after
yeah,
them.
yeah, no, it is
Is yours
very
in pretty
well.
good shape?
Yeah,
Fairly
my,
even?
yeah, the club does a great job at maintaining our footy oval. It's very good. Probably better than a track, to be honest, so I shouldn't be complaining.
Mhm. No doubt better than that Ballarat course on the weekend. That was real
Yeah,
cross country, wasn't
yeah,
it?
that was a mud pit and a half, I'll tell you that.
It definitely big time.
Yes.
So, where you do your long runs, do you know what elevation you're getting up to? How
Um,
high?
Not exactly, but I think it's around 150 to 200 meters elevation. So not too
So you're very
high,
much in the valley.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
very
yeah,
much in the valley there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so you're getting up to 90 minutes. Like obviously you wouldn't do 90 just before a really big race, but like if you're in a big training block, you'd be doing. Any idea what pace you'd be doing?
Yeah, my previous ones that I was doing before injury, I was actually at pretty good fitness there, and I was running 440 minutes to 5 minute paces for the whole 90 minutes, which is pretty good. If I'm doing trail, that was just a flat 90 minute. If I'm doing
Yeah,
trails, it does tend to vary, but it averages out around a 5 minute pace with the downhills and the uphill's obviously slower, but the downhills make up for it. So yeah, it averages out around 5 minute K pace, which is
sure.
perfect. Yeah.
And now we all know there are trails and there are trails. Now you live in a real hub of tough trails around your area. You're not too far from Mount Buffalo and
Yeah.
yeah, Bogong and all these other big peaks and all these famous trails that
Yes.
races like the Buffalo Stampede are on and pardon me, other big races as well. Do you ever hit those really steep, hilly, technical trails for training?
Yeah, I try to do some of the fire breaks, which are very intense. Typically, I wouldn't do those by myself. I would more enter like a local event, like you said, either in Bright or the Buffalo Stampede, and those have the hills that are like this, whereas where I can be running with other people, so I'm not struggling alone, and it's a bit easier to run up there. So I use those. Well, James sets tells me I should do those as a training, not as a race, but so I think
Sure.
that's a good way to go about it because trying to run up those steep hills by yourself is a bit hard.
You'd rather a bit of company there. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's understandable.
yeah.
Now, what would you regard as your favourite type of run or session?
My favorite type of run is what we're talking about, the 90-minute
Yeah,
trail runs. Yeah, I
yeah.
have a
I
love
thought you were
for it.
coming a light, brightening up there, talking about the trails and
Yeah,
becoming more animated.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
awesome, wonderful. Now, what is your no, what would be your most memorable race or races so far in your fairly short running career?
Yeah.
What stands out?
So because I've only been running for a little bit, I have got a few races that stand out to me. 2025, I would say, was my best running year, I guess, because it was the start of my running journey and everything kind of just fell into place, I think. So I was very lucky to um, be so determined that at school sports Victoria, the state competition that my school is in, I came first for the under 20 females, which was literally my biggest dream. Coming from year 10, where I think I did stay, I think I came seventh that year. So, which is still impressive, but running wasn't my thing. I was just doing other sports, and cross country was more just a side, like, oh, I just do it because I like sport. So, to then come back the next year and get the state title, I was like, okay, I think running is my thing. I've finally
Hmm.
found it. So that was kind of, yeah, the spark to then go on and apply for nationals. I came 10th in the under 18 females, which was crazy because I went in so clueless with an open mind, just happy to be there, just to run for myself, not realizing I'm running against the next Olympians of our country. I just went in, run, and yeah, to come out with 10th, I look back now and I'm like, you were crazy, girl. You just, yeah, I impressed myself looking back. So that was definitely my most memorable race.
Yeah, so getting up at that higher level very early on in the piece and
Yeah,
being excited at A, winning a state championship, and then B, placing really highly in a national championship against, like you mentioned, they could be future Olympians.
yeah, yeah, it was,
Yeah, right up
yeah,
there in the big time for someone of your age.
yes,
Wow, well, that would have been so exciting.
yes.
Now, do you prefer track, road, cross country, or trail racing?
This is an easy question for me because I've never really had access to a track, so track hasn't very. I would love to get good at it, and obviously use it to my advantage, but because the closest one is an hour away, I just find no interest in it because of the difficulty to get there. And then that's kind of the reason why I think I love trails and cross country so much is because I live at the doorstep of so many hills and stuff that it's so easy to access that that's just how where I run, and yeah, it's really, I think, a reason why I love it.
Very good. Are you on your P's yet,
No,
or for
I'm
driving?
not. No,
No.
so
Are you
still
working towards it?
working there. I'm counting down the days now. I'm very, yeah, no, 5th of November, so nearly
There
there.
you go. There you go. So that'll kind of coincide about with when you finish your school, when you've
Yes,
done your VCE, your
yeah,
final exams.
yes.
Have you thought about maybe driving into Melbourne to do, have you heard about, for example, the Vic Milers meets
Yes,
or
I
like the
have.
evening meets?
Yeah,
Yep.
and my mum's very good. She also, well, my mum and dad, they drive me around everywhere, so I'm sure they'd be happy enough to do that for me as well. But definitely when I'm
Yep.
finished school, I'll definitely be going to a few of those and things like that. I'm sure it'll be great for
Yeah.
my confidence and racing and stuff.
Yeah, because even if you ended up being more of a trail running specialist or road running specialist, working on your track times and your track racing when you're young is always a good thing. It will help you excel in
Definitely.
those other genres as well.
Yeah.
And really, if you can get into Melbourne in 3 or 4 hours, it might be well worth going in two, three, four, 5 times
Yeah. Yeah.
in that period after the pressure of the exams is all over, and
Yeah.
hopefully you'll keep in one piece between now and then. You'll be even fitter and faster. Yeah,
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
that could be an option for you as
Yeah.
well. Not to
Yeah.
mention getting off to do a whole bunch of trail races and road
Yeah.
races and things as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So now this is very exciting. When I found out this news that you'll be representing Australia
Yes.
in trail running in China in the Asia Pacific Trail Running Association Championships in the under 23 category.
Yes.
So, wow. So, you were selected after some amazing results in the Nail Can Hill race in Albury. I've heard about that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nationally known, that race in
Yeah.
Albury.
Yeah.
And the Buffalo Stampede, which is obviously nationally known as well.
Yeah.
Two big hill races. So this championship event you're going to be competing in China, that's November 24 to 28 in
Yeah.
that period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be really exciting for you. And
Yeah.
there are 3 other girls in that age group, are there, travelling with you?
Yeah, the team hasn't been announced yet, but we've all got the
Right.
confirmation email. But I'm
Oh,
pretty sure there's two to
wonderful.
three girls. So yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. So now you've done those trail races there already locally, fairly locally to you.
Yeah.
What do you enjoy about these trail races most of all?
So when I first did the Buffalo Stampede, that was actually one of the first local running events that my mum signed me up to do, with no
Yeah.
expectations. I went up there and I was running in just my like normal everyday shoes, like no trail shoes. You had to have a vest and all these things that you had to have going up the hill, and I was like, Mum, I don't have any of this stuff. Like, why do we need this stuff? I'm just going for a run. So I was clueless, and I literally, yeah, had this heavy water bottle that I was carrying the whole way with me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was very new to it, but I did it, and I got back, and I was so happy, and I was like, Mum, sign me up for another one, get me another one, because the joy that you feel when you finish after, like when you get to the top, and then you get to come down, it's just so much satisfaction and just makes you feel so good about yourself and you feel accomplished. And I think that's what I thrive for. I crave that sense of success, I guess, after doing things. So I think that's definitely one of the reasons why I love my trail runs. Yeah, it's like conquering the mountain, and then you get to the top, and then you get the joy ride down instead of just running round and around the same track.
That's a great perspective and a really good way of looking at it there. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So you found your own little Everest for the time being.
Yeah.
Have you heard about now? Trail running is sort of like in the same pathway as mountain running,
Yeah.
same kind of thing because you are running up. Often trail races are in the mountains.
Yeah.
Have you heard that there's a World Mountain Running Championships every 2 years as well?
No, I have not.
So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they
okay.
had one last year.
Yep.
Last year it was in Spain. So there's not one
Okay.
in 2026 this year,
Yep.
but it'll be on again next year. I haven't heard where it will be,
Okay.
but there will be.
I'll have to
So
keep
to
my
be
eyes out.
eligible to be picked for that, you'll need to do the Australian the Australian Mountain Running Championships.
Okay.
And you will still be a junior because juniors is under 20, like in World Athletics and like Australian Championships.
Yeah.
Because you turn 18 this year, that means you turn 19 next year.
Next year.
You'll be a perfect age
Yeah.
to be in the under 20s. So
Okay. I'll have to keep my
there
eye
you go.
out. Definitely.
Keep
I'll
your eye
look
out for
it.
that because I bet you'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
They're more often than not in Europe.
Okay.
There might have been one championship in Asia at one point. I can't
Yep.
remember, and might have been one or two in North America as well. But they're usually in Europe.
Okay.
Might have
Cool.
been even one in Africa at one point too. But yeah, it was in Spain last year up in the mountains there.
Nice.
And there was an Australian team, including juniors, and
Yep.
we've been sending teams to the World Mountain Running Championships, I think, for about 40 years now.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
Tim Crosby from Athletics Victoria, he's really into it,
Yep.
and he'll be able to tell you more about that too, I'm sure. So now, are you aiming to gain, at that age now where you've nearly graduated, are you aiming to gain a scholarship to a US college at all and maybe compete in the NCAA?
Definitely, that has been on my bucket list since last year because that's only since I found my love for running. But yeah, I've been
Yeah.
lucky enough already actually to have five Division 1 universities show interest in me. One of the universities is offering a full ride. All of them offer something different for me, but and the coaches are all lovely, but it's a difficult decision for myself to choose where I want to go. But I'm very lucky that I have this opportunity, so I want to take it because I'm sure it will help me improve as a runner.
Brilliant. Yep. So have you thought about what you'd like to do after you finish university studies? What sort of career path you'd like to take yet?
Yeah, see, because I'm so young and I've got my mind open to everything, I actually am unsure. Obviously, something to do with running, but whether that's trail running, the Olympics, um, just the big events like the London Run and all those big running events, I'm still unsure of where my path will take me because I've noticed in my life I bounce off very quickly onto different things. So, yeah, I'm not sure what my future holds.
No, it's certainly a big world out there.
Yes.
And I mean, there's different entry points when you can join a US college as well. Like some students these days are actually starting up after their Australian exams finish in November.
Yeah.
They're starting up as early as January,
Yeah, yeah,
but then traditionally, and still probably more do it this way, they wait until the end of the summer break over there, which happens to be about now. So they start in the third or fourth week in August.
yeah, yeah.
So depending which semester they want to enter, but I think the colleges these days are more flexible as to whether they start um, in semester 1 or 2. In
Yeah,
other words, in January or in late
August.
August.
Yeah,
Um, so I guess you'd probably have 3 or 4 options. Either get, if you were lucky enough to get into one very early after you graduate, or even before, you might find out before you graduate. Would you be open to going as early as January, or would you wait until August, or would you wait until the following January, or maybe even the following August? Because I think
yeah.
you'd probably still be young enough. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, so school actually offered me to come in January. They were very excited, which I would love, but I just think I need that little gap. I'd like to just
Yeah,
work, earn some money, and keep running with James, obviously, in the
yeah,
meantime, doing
yeah,
some more local runs around my Australia, and then,
yeah.
yeah, hopefully going in August 2027. That's my
Nice,
plan.
nice.
Yeah.
So, well, that's good. Australia won't lose you too early because it'll be
No.
great to see what you can do for another 12 months or so on home soil
Yeah.
and be really good. You'll be able to enjoy more, hopefully, being old enough, a bit more independent, you'll be able to enjoy more of the Victorian running culture there too.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
uh, pretty well everybody knows Victoria is the hub of distance running in Australia,
Yeah.
particularly Melbourne. And so many of the good runners gravitate towards either living there or at least going there to race regularly. So you're at a good age now where you'll be able to get right into the thick of it in that year before
Exactly.
you go over to America.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Now, so you've progressed nicely over the last few years, and the last 12 months have been a breakthrough period for you, particularly. What do you feel have been your 3 best races in that period? How would
So
you rank them?
I would rank them my favorite one because my favorite event is the 10 kilometer. My best race was City to City, which is a local Albury Wodonga event where I ran my 10K PB of 36 minutes. Funny story in that one, as all runners I think can relate to. I accidentally went to the toilet mid-run. So that definitely slowed me down. So I'm striving for a sub 35-minute PB on my 10K, and I think I could have done it on that run if that didn't happen. But it's all right because we live and we learn and we move on. But yeah, that was definitely still one of my best races, even though something hard happened.
Yeah,
And then the Nalcan Hill, which is what we were speaking about before, it was a 12-kilometer trail run, so a bit longer than the 10, but with running against other, I didn't realize the Nalcan Hill was such a big event until, you sign up for it and you go, oh wow, it's actually bigger than I thought. So there were lots of good, older, mature runners who I could look at and follow in their footsteps. And I was actually surprised myself and ended up coming third overall for the females in that run, which was, yeah, very surprising to me. So I've put that one on my list. And then last one, my third one would be the All School Champs, where I came second because it was a highlight to me. As I was up against another great runner, Leanne Alice. I've only just got to know her through running recently, but she's such an inspiration of mine, and to finish behind her was like a win for me. So that one was another one of my.
I know Leanne, having lived in Melbourne for 10 years, I
Yeah,
saw her develop from a youngster under the tutelage of great coach Stuart, and he really developed her nicely. And I think she might have run about a 4:25 for 1500 and
wow,
maybe 9:30 something for
yeah,
3K, and
yeah,
probably under 17 for 5, I imagine. And
yeah,
she's been quite a force in your age group for quite a period of time. So
definitely.
you did very well. I saw the results there, and so that was at Bundora.
Yeah, that was at Bundoora. The course
Yeah.
was actually very, yeah, it gave off cross country. Not the mud wise, but there was lots of hills, so I tried to use that to my advantage. as well.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So that's three really good races you've tapped off there. And even looking at your conversion from 5K to 10K, 17:11, I think, for five, and 36:01 for
Yes.
10. For someone your age, normally that would be about a typical conversion because runners aren't normally super strong at your age, but
Yeah.
it sounds to me like you are on the stronger side of runners. In other words, you've got lots of natural endurance there. So therefore, 17:11 to a 35 dead would be far more doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and without that toilet break, I'm sure you would have gone much quicker than what you did
I'm
anyway.
sure.
At
Yes.
least a bit quicker.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always hard to put an exact time on those sorts of things, isn't it?
I know.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I remember seeing footage of Paula Radcliffe one year, and I think she actually broke the world record when she did it. And she did a number two
Oh,
on the side of the road in front of the whole world because it was panned internationally at the London Marathon.
yeah.
So the London
Wow.
Marathon gets something like 1 million people on the side of the road
Oh my
over the
gosh.
42 kilometres of road. So it
Yeah.
was on a crowded section, like nearly the whole course is,
Yeah.
for one. So in front of people live, but in
Yeah.
front of the TV cameras, which are zoomed across to millions of people around the world, she didn't hesitate to just squat,
Yeah.
did her business on the side of the road, didn't
Yeah.
wait for a portaloo or anything, and off she went.
Oh
And I
my
reckon it
God.
only took about 10 seconds.
Oh, well, that
And she
makes
did
me
that.
feel better about my little incident. So knowing that there's all these other people out there with hundreds of more people watching them as well.
She was a superstar. She
Yeah.
brought the world record down from 2:18 to 2:15 in her
Wow.
era. English woman, unbelievable.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, what are your running goals for the remainder of this year and beyond?
Yeah, so for 2026, I hope to stay consistent in the 10K as that's my favorite event. As I said, I was aiming for the sub 35, which I'm sure will come,
Yeah.
hopefully before 2027. That's my goal. I'm competing in the Melbourne Marathon, the 10-kilometer event in October this year. So, um, aiming, yeah, for around the goal is 35 minutes there. But then also China in November, so which is trail running. So I've got a bit on my plate for 2026. And I'm still so young, so my mind after 2026, I'm open to trying new things and yeah, traveling Australia, seeing what races
Yep.
I can compete in, like you said, going to Melbourne for a few runs and things like that. I think, yeah, I'm very open. So
Excellent. Excellent. Now, do you have a special diet? What are your favourite foods and drinks? Is there any magic behind your success? What's making Jade Hazeldine tick when she's eating and drinking?
yeah, so I wouldn't say I have a special diet. I do eat different foods to my family, typically because I eat a lot more and I eat lots of chicken, potatoes, and oats, lots of carbs. I find they're very good for runners. But if you know me, my favorite food is sushi, so which is a great source of fuel because I find it's got my rice, it's got my protein, it's got my fat, so it's perfect for really any meal of the day. I wish I could eat it all day, every day, but unfortunately, you got a budget and sushi is, I don't want to get sick of it either. So I have it for dinner. You would find me eating sushi at least once a week. So it's definitely my favorite food.
Beautiful. Oh, I
Yes,
love sushi.
yes.
Yeah, wonderful. Now, are you doing any strength training at the moment?
So strength training is something I've lacked a lot, but I would definitely be doing it now since my injury that I've just had. It's made me realize that strength training is so important, especially for runners. I find we neglect it a lot because we're all about the running and the aerobic work, whereas I didn't realize how important it was to build our muscles and things. So I'll be doing that a bit more now.
Can you tell us a little bit about that injury that you just had?
Yeah, so at first, after my recent trail run that I just did in Quat Quat, it was called, I think, down near Wangaratta in the Warby Ranges. After that run, I felt a niggle in my hip and it made a nerve sensation run down my whole left leg. I seriously had never felt this pain like this before because runners we always get our little niggles and injuries and I can just move on with those ones, but this one I couldn't. So I was like to my mum, I think I need to get it checked out. With a brain that overthinks everything, I thought it was a stress fracture. So we got an MRI, and lucky enough, it was just beside us. So just little inflamed fluid sacs in my hips, which was causing a bit of
Yeah.
pain. I've done everything I can to prevent those and get those to slow down and stuff. So I was lucky enough I could still run at nationals, which was good. But yeah, it's still on my mind to take care of my body and things like that, because it's just little things like that that set you back if you don't look after yourself.
They sure can. And
Yeah.
on injury management and looking after your body, I think there's definitely a lot of runners out there, particularly female runners, who do sometimes replace their running load or actual runs on their program with cross training, like
Yeah.
other forms of training than running. Do you try any cross training at all?
Wish I could cross train, but again, well, I can. There's no excuses, don't get me wrong. But because I live in my small town, Myrtleford, we don't have an indoor pool like most
Yeah,
other, the girls living in Melbourne and that. We only
yeah.
just recently had a gym open up in Myrtleford, which is great. I haven't yet used it, but I would like to. I think after school I might sign up for that and get into some more of that strength. I have my own small home gym, but that's only weights and stuff, no cross training type of activities. So I could ride the bike out in the pines again, but I definitely prefer running over bike riding. So sometimes it's hard to motivate me to get out there.
You're a real running girl, and there's
Yes.
nothing wrong with that. Yeah, wonderful. Now, is there one race in the world that you'd really dream about doing one day?
Definitely running at the Olympics, whether that's any race, the 5,000, 10,000. I hope they put in like a 10K road race in the Olympics one year. That would be pretty cool, and I'd try qualify for that. But if not the Olympics, I'd love to travel and like compete in the big events like the London Marathon, 10-kilometer event, and really, yeah, any event outside of Australia would be amazing, I guess.
One thing that just struck my mind when you mentioned the Olympics then, and then I thought, oh, okay, Jade mentioned before how much she loves trail running slash
Yeah.
mountain running. I've heard dialogue, I've heard there's been talk, but I don't know where they're at with the dialogue or where they're at with the actual organisation of the 2032 games yet, which will be in Brisbane in
Yeah.
Australia. But I heard that they may be introducing trail running
Yes.
to the 2032 Olympics, which by that point you'd be in your mid 20s and
Be the
probably
perfect
heading towards
age.
your peak in running.
Yeah,
So keep your eyes and ears posted for that. You never know, that could be
definitely.
an additional event added there right to the Olympics.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
What do you enjoy most about distance running?
I find that distance running has taught me a lot of belief in myself, because when I was playing my team sports, I found that I always doubted myself. I felt like I was the mess up of the team or something like that. There was lots of pressure in team sports, so moving on to an individual sport like running has brought lots of peace and freedom to not just my brain and body, but everything. Like my life has felt a lot more calmer ever since running. So I definitely, yeah, I think that's what I love most about it.
Nice. And do you have a favourite current runner in the world?
Ali Kipchoge, specifically because he's so grounded and just so warm-hearted, and he's the greatest marathoner in history. Except I think there's a few other guys breaking his record now, but he's still my favorite runner. He's inspiring with his dedication and his passion, and we also get to share the same birthday, 5th of November, so that just makes it even more
Oh,
special.
well, that's huge. Yeah,
Yes,
you're right. I think he might be the GOAT of the marathoning. There's no doubt about that.
yeah,
With what he did at that point in history. And you're right as well that Sebastian Sawe does have the world record now.
yeah.
And Kajelcha's also broken the 2 hour mark and gone quicker than Kipchoge, and also Kelvin Kiptum, who passed away unfortunately. He broke
Uh,
Elliot's time as well. So I think three men have gone quicker than him officially, even though he broke 2 hours in that sub 2 hour, especially a couple of attempts there. He broke it on one of those on the
Yeah.
second attempt.
Yeah.
But that was like not done legally, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. But he won so many races, including a couple of Olympics, and
Yeah.
broke several world records. He was unbelievable. You're
Yeah.
right there. Do you have a favourite Aussie athlete, current Aussie athlete?
Yeah, so obviously Jess Hull is an idol, but my favorite Aussie athlete would be Cameron Myers. Just because he's so young and has grown so much in such a short time, like watching him run and things like that. Just looks so relaxed. He's very inspiring how he does it and representing Australia while breaking so many records. It just amazes me, to be honest. So yeah, it shows that us Aussies, what we do, if we can put our mind to it, we can do it. So
They're
yeah,
really flying the flag, those two, aren't they? There's no doubt
yeah,
about that.
yeah,
Yeah. Along with a whole bunch of others as well. We've got a lot of
yeah,
depth out there now.
yeah.
Top level, a
Claudia,
lot of
all
depth.
of them. Yep.
Oh, big time, big time.
Yes.
What are your interests outside of running? You mentioned them to a degree before when you mentioned other sports and horse
Yeah.
riding, but any other interests?
Yeah, so we have a family boat, so we go out Lake Buffalo a lot. So I love surfing behind our boat, water skiing, all of that fun stuff. That's only kind of a summer activity, I guess. So when I'm not doing that, I love drawing and baking at home. Love giving to people, so I bake lots of cookies and things like that, and give them to my friends and family.
Oh, very nice.
Yes,
Very good. Now we're going to try some quick fire questions to finish off. Are you up
perfect.
and open to basically choosing one option out of two presented to you really quickly? It'll be boom, boom, boom.
Yes, let's go.
Okay, let's go. First of all, what's the best bird, a kookaburra or a magpie?
Kookaburra, 100%.
Do you like Nike or New Balance running shoes?
Nike,
Who's your pick out of Rose Davies or Audrey Werrow?
Rose Davies, the 10K and the 5K queen.
Yeah. Do you prefer Myrtleford or Melbourne?
Myrtleford at heart always.
Yeah, Myrtleford girl.
Yes.
England or Australia?
Australia.
Meat pies or pizza?
I'd go pizza. I actually work at a pizza restaurant, so love it.
Good
Gotta
on you.
love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Fishing or surfing?
Surfing, yeah.
Cycling or skateboarding?
That's a hard one. I could say no if I could, but I'll go with skating.
Good on you. Shorts or skirts?
Short.
Working or sleeping?
Working, yeah.
Nice. Chocolate or veggies?
I love my vegetables. I know it might sound weird, but I'm a veggie girl at heart.
Great. National cross country or Zatopek?
National cross country.
Good, eh? Long runs or track work?
I think we all know the answer to this. Long runs.
Yeah, we heard
Yep.
that. Yeah, we heard that before. Chin ups or push ups?
Push ups.
Dogs or cats?
I've got both, but I feel criminal if I choose, so I'm gonna have to say both. I can't choose on that one.
Sat on the fence. So they're
Yes,
both beautiful, aren't they? There's no
they
doubt
are.
about that. They're different. They
Yeah.
are. Good on you. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Jade. It's been a real pleasure and lovely to get to know you a little bit. And I wish you the very best of luck for your upcoming exams and for
Yeah.
especially when you're wearing the green and gold as well.
Thank
Around
you.
that time as well in November. That'll be really exciting. Good luck with everything. I'll be keeping my eyes and ears posted to see how you're developing and continuing to shine in the sport.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. So we can see that Jade is a young runner who has improved drastically during 2026. It has not happened overnight as she's been training for a year and a half. After that period, she's scored solid results and has made great progression, and she's now knocking on the door of being a top performer nationally. We wish her the very best of luck for a bright running future. Thanks for watching and listening, folks. Don't forget to keep your toes behind the starting line, to run right through the finishing line as hard as you can, and what you do in between is up to you. Thank you and bye for now.